All right, hold on, guys. I'm working on it, getting there. That's a mic. Okay. Okay. All right. See here, I think I'm gonna go for an extra little pillow. For any of you big meditators out there, I do really like, so I share this yoga studio space with another gal, and she has these big, thick mats, meditation mats, in addition to like the pillows. And I gotta say, like, I really like this extra added cushioning for kneeling and sitting, however you like. So that's something to throw out there. One thing as opposed to maybe the blanket or yoga mat or something like that. So just something to think about. Let me get my stuff out of the way. It's distracting me in the video. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Burgundy. This is the last of the meditation learner series classes. We've had 6. Tonight, we're doing technically 2 different meditations. We'll go through one that's geared towards sort of tuning into the 5 senses. And then the second one we'll do is a body scan. So I want to talk about both of those. And then we're going to do a little bit of moving just to get the body ready for sitting still or laying still. There are different styles of meditation. As you may have guessed, if you've followed meditation, if you are a practitioner of meditation, or if you've followed the past 5 classes, pranayama, which is breath regulation, when I just sort of call it breathing exercises. I think that a breath practice is by its very nature a meditation. Meditation in general being very, general, is focusing on one thing. Meditation is not emptying your mind. That's really hard. I mean, you can practice that, but I don't even know what that would be. So that's something to think about, is what if somebody says that, what do they even mean? Empty your mind. I don't know what that means, and I really don't know how to do it, because I've practiced many different types of meditation, and I understand the concept of stilling my mind, of keeping what I call sticky thoughts out of the way. So sticky thoughts are, to me, this is my example, those 3 a.m. thoughts that like stick to you, and you're like, I can't get these thoughts away from me. These are the negative thoughts, about, I'm not good enough. This is, I shouldn't have said that kind of thing. Or, why aren't I doing this with my life? Like all of these things that just sort of like spiral, snowball. And then I'm in this like weird funk, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything right. So maybe some of you have experienced those kind of things. Those are sticky thoughts. So the practice of letting thoughts just sort of, they can be, but they can be over there, right? And so I've even practiced, I remember I had a teacher in an Ashtanga class when we were doing Shavasana, which is the corpse pose, that final relaxation at the end that everybody loves. Pretty much everybody's doing some sort of yoga practice in order to do Shavasana, which is a sign that we all need rest and relaxation. We need to restore. But anyhow, the practice of just blackness, of thinking of nothing, not even counting, And I like even thinking of blackness, of darkness, and trying not to count and not paying attention to my breath or the things in the room and the guy that really has bad BO and the guy that just farted. And I don't know how to think of nothing. And I don't even know that that like served me well to have that type of thing suggested, because we're humans and our thoughts are kind of what define us in the animal kingdom, plant kingdom too, I suppose. But so there are different styles of meditation, and the primary concept is to focus on one thing. And the practice of focusing on one thing, I think, is really important as we are in life right now. We have crazy lives. What society has done to us, what we do to ourselves, we think that multitasking, we're proud of multitasking. We're proud of, having this packed calendar of I'm doing this thing and then I'm doing this thing and then I'm doing this thing. And for some reason, we feel ashamed when we are slacking and reading a book, or we're slacking and just walking instead of running up that mountain. I mean, and I'm guilty of this as well. So I constantly am trying to practice what I preach. But those are the things that, I don't know, society has perpetuated. It's social media. And, as a business owner, I'm sort of obliged to be part of this social media thing too, of TikTok is like 15 seconds, 30-second videos, things like that. I just posted something on Instagram and it wanted me to cut my 1 minute and 11-second video down to 1 minute. We have this attention span that's getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's a problem. Being able to focus on one thing for an extended period of time is crucial. We are creative beings. If you are somebody that considers yourself creative or an artist, think about when it is that you feel the most creative. My life is full of artists. I was raised by an artist. I've dated artists. I have friends that are artists. I just gravitate towards that kind of person. And so a lot of artists I know are deeply depressed. And one of the aspects of depression is that you don't feel like doing anything. Okay, so when you're in the process of not doing anything, getting out of bed or getting out of your pajamas, or you're not even taking a shower, your mind has all this time to roam and think about wild, ridiculous things and these bizarre connections. You get to be creative. And I'm not promoting depression, but this is also why a lot of people who have clinical depression, they don't like taking their antidepressants, because if you are an artist, some artists feel like that numbs that it numbs them. And I am not promoting not taking your antidepressant, but I get it. And other times when I feel creative are like today. It's really cold and rainy and gray, and I don't want to go outside. And so I'm inside and I'm being quiet, and the clouds sort of like muffle life. It's like being in sort of like a sensory deprivation chamber when it's like cold and rainy. I've got my hood up in the house and I'm bundled up, and so everything's just sort of packed in. I feel like mashed potatoes. And I feel creative. When I'm going to the bathroom, I'm not doing anything else. And so my mind can wander for a moment. When I'm taking a shower, I'm not doing anything else but taking a shower. I have amazing thoughts in the shower. That's why there are such things as shower thoughts, because you get that, I don't know, 5, 10, however long you take a shower, you get those moments of not doing anything else. When I run, I consider that a meditation. My yoga practice, my asana, I absolutely consider that a meditation. I'm focusing on my breath, and my movement follows my breath. And anytime my breath goes sideways, I bring it back again. So think about when it is that you feel creative. Think about how you can find moments in your day and consider that meditation. I'm going to focus on one thing. I know plenty of people who like to cook, and they consider that a meditation. You're chopping the carrot. You're listening to the sound. And it's not just like you only focus on one aspect of chopping a carrot, although I suppose you can. There aren't really any rules here. But that sound, like you've got this big honking carrot, and that sound of ka-chonk, ka-chonk, ka-chonk. Can you smell any of the sweetness of this carrot? What does orange carrot smell like? The sound of peeling a carrot or even a potato. Taking a walk, crunching on the leaves on the ground. When you're talking to somebody, focusing on what they're saying and not your response. When you're getting dressed in the morning, why did you choose the clothes that you did? This is like my most comfortable t-shirt, and I love the podcast. I'm not necessarily promoting Talk Nerdy, but if you happen to like science communicators, I recommend checking it out. So paying attention to even yourself. So many people are dissociated from their bodies and their thoughts and their feelings, their emotions, all of these things. One kind of meditation that I recommend is sitting with discomfort. Physical discomfort, sure, but something that is emotionally, maybe mentally challenging to you. Like those things where you have to be honest with yourself. Can you sit with that and just let yourself feel all the things? Don't push it away. Don't deflect. Don't try to make yourself happy, because feeling sad or feeling, disappointed in yourself, these aren't negative thoughts. These are things that we learn from and we grow deeper through. So all kinds of things can be considered a meditation. The first practice we'll do tonight, a 5 senses meditation. Both of these meditations tonight you can do laying down or sitting up. That's entirely up to you. The first one, we'll go through the 5 senses. Simple as that. Simple, perhaps not easy. That is always something to consider. When I say that something is simple, doesn't mean it's easy. I think the simple things are the ones that are best to work on. So we'll go through the 5 senses meditation. We'll take a little break from that. And there's not really much for me to explain other than we'll go through and practice sensing into touch, sound, taste, smell. What am I missing? Sight. Maybe we'll go a little bit deeper than that. And then the last one we're going to do is a body scan. A body scan is super touching into the sense of touch. We're going to tap into the body. And this one may surprise you, but it may take a while to get through that. I'm going to shoot for 20 minutes for that one. So for these, there's not much else that I think I want to say about them. Find a comfortable position. I do recommend, if you want, to lay down, but lay in a position where you're not going to fall asleep. So I do want you to stay lucid. And for the pot smokers in the crowd, not encouraging it, I'm just acknowledging it. For the pot smokers in the crowd, these kinds of meditations where you're sensing into your body, you know, marijuana can intensify that perhaps, but also different kinds of marijuana have a different effect on your body. Marijuana affects people differently. And you want to make sure that you're not using marijuana as a as a way to sort of avoid. You don't want to use it as an avoidance tactic. But also, it's interesting to compare what you sense when you have not had any THC in your body, or even CBD for that matter. And when you have ingested or used some sort of lotion or something like that. Again, not encouraging. I'm just saying, I recommend taking a peek at your body and your senses when you are THC and CBD free. So just a thought. So find a comfortable position, seated or laying down. You can be sitting in a chair. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I take that back. Let's start seated because we're going to do a little bit of movement. Let's do a little bit of the torso rotation. So sit in your cross-legged position because I would like to get your body a little bit, I don't know, warmed up before we get going here. So I'm going to start with torso rotations. Oh, this feels good. I pretty much sat at my computer writing all day. So I was really excited that we have this class tonight. So you're starting making big circles, and then eventually let's start to keep your shoulders over your hips a little bit more and do torso rotations around the waist. Do you ever have days when you feel taller? I'm having a tall day. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my pants. All right, come back to center. Bring your other leg in front. Let's rotate in the opposite direction. Big circles. Okay, let's come to the waist. Make circles with your waist, with your belly button. And if you've got a tight lumbar spine, low back, this can be challenging for you. I have a short waist, so I don't necessarily think that a short or a long waist necessarily has an impact, but certainly the flexibility of your spine has an impact on this. All right, come back to center, grab onto your shins. Let's rock over your sit bones. Inhale, draw your belly button forward. Exhale, let your pelvis fall back. Let your movement follow your breath. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale your chest forward. Exhale it back. On your next inhale, lift your chin to the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, chin to chest. One more inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, chin to chest. Keep your chin against your chest. Drop your shoulders. Feel your shoulder blades draw down your back. Keeping your chin against your chest, slide your chin to the left. Slide right. Slide left. Slide right. Lift up and over to the left. Up and over right. Up and over left. And up and over to the right. Bring your head to center. Left arm out to the left, right hand to your heart. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. Now inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Slow down, come back to center. Pause for a few breaths. And now make your way into your comfortable seated or reclined position. If you're seated, make sure that your body is not a distraction for you, that you are in a comfortable position. And if you're reclined, use as many props as possible to keep yourself comfortable and supported. If you want a blanket, get a blanket. If you're seated, even if you want a blanket covering your shoulders, do that. Once we get into these colder months, definitely make sure that you are keeping your body warm, especially if you're getting into longer meditations. Once you get into your position, notice if there's anything else that you can do to adjust to make yourself even, let's say, 2 or 3% more comfortable. Let your eyelids lower. And let's begin by noticing your breath. Just notice that you are breathing. Notice if you have any wandering thoughts, and if you need to write something down, do it. But see if you can allow those thoughts just sort of slip off to the side. Maybe visualize putting your thoughts into little leaves that have fallen. Maybe they stayed there, or maybe you have like a little stream visualized next to you, and the leaves fall into the stream. And as the leaf passes, you just put a thought in there. And then leaves can collect at the bottom of the stream. You can get them later if you like. Or I like to imagine putting my thoughts in a bowl by the door, like where I put my keys. I used to do that. Just bring yourself back again and again to your breath as many times as you need to. Some days we have more thoughts than others. Make sure that you're breathing through your nose. And if you are stuffed up, since we are coming into winter months, and I've been getting over a cold, if you are stuffed up, certainly breathe through your mouth, but see if you can breathe through your nose. See if you can lengthen your inhales by a couple of beats and lengthen your exhales by a couple of beats. With every exhale, allow your body to let go of something else. Let your bones be heavy. Let the floor support you, whether you're sitting on it or laying on it. Transition into a nice, easy, natural breath where you don't really need to pay attention to the breath now. And notice 3 different sensations of touch on your body. Notice a sensation of temperature. Maybe notice the difference between your feet and your hands. Maybe notice a sensation of temperature in your face, your lips, the tip of your nose, your ears. Maybe notice how that sensation changes with your observation of it. Notice a sensation of the cloth touching your skin. Maybe a blanket versus your clothing, socks, underwear. See if you can notice the sensation of your pulse. And where you might feel that. You know your heart is in your chest, but where else do you feel it pulsing? Release your noticing of touch and see if you can hear your pulse. Can you hear your heartbeat? Do you hear any other sounds being made by your body? Release that and see if you notice a sound within the room. Try to discern just one sound in the room. Stick with it. Release that and listen for a sound outside and stick with that sound. And if it's not outside, at least outside of the room you're in. Release that. And notice, see if you can capture two distinct smells. That may be hard, but see if you can do it. Notice the taste in your mouth. And with your eyes still closed, notice what you see behind your eyes. Maybe light, dark, color. Maybe you see images being made by your mind. Release that. Come back to a sensation of touch and recognizing the sense of your body, the weight of your body resting on the floor, whether you're seated or reclined. Feel your body being supported. Notice the sensation of your skin around your body. And see if you can notice a sensation of touch just outside of your skin, just on the surface. Maybe you can feel the air just touching your skin. And then see if you can notice a kind of vibration of your body. A sort of energy that's pulsing through you. Maybe it's fast, maybe it's slow, but you're alive, so you have energy pulsing through you. And notice that through your body, through your skin, and just on the outside of your body. See if you can sense an inch away from your body. Sensing that energy field that's around you. See if you can sense it an inch away. Then maybe see if you can expand that energy field around you. Maybe visualize it filling up the room and pushing into the walls, the ceiling, and the floor. Sense what it would feel like for your energy body to press against the wall. And then maybe you can allow yourself to release from that confine of the room and let your energy body just sort of release past the house, if you're comfortable with that. See how far out you can extend your awareness. You extended your sense of hearing past the room and perhaps outside of the house or building you're in. That's extending your awareness. Your energy went out with it. Can you visualize moving yourself wide, tall, deep? Can part of you reach down to the center of the earth? Can part of you reach up into the sky? Can you sense part of you traveling toward the moon? You are limitless and endless. This physical body is just a vessel. But our energy can go everywhere. Let's practice bringing it back. Bring it back from the moon, from however far out you expanded. Bring it up from the center of the earth. Bring it into the room. Bring it closer into your skin. Just let it settle back into the shape of you. Just for now. Start to deepen your breath. Moving your fingers and your toes. Move your wrists and ankles. Reach your arms above you. Reach your legs away from you. And then start to make your way back up into a seated position if you're sitting down. Once you're in a seated position, if this is new for you, if you were laying down, let's all just take a moment, your eyes opened or closed, whatever feels right. Let's just notice what there is to notice right now. And if your eyes are closed, slowly start to look between your eyelashes, opening your eyelids, and bringing yourself back into the room. I like a 5 senses meditation because it's easy and it's with you all the time. There's nothing really to think about except remembering what the 5 senses are. In my writing classes and every writing book that I read, authors always say, describe things using your 5 senses. So if you're a creative type of any sort, putting yourself in a place, anywhere, a coffee shop, a city street, in the snow, taking a walk, whatever, in a meeting room, classroom, just to put yourself there, to be present. You can go quickly through your 5 senses. So what do I see? And what do I see with my eyes closed? That is 2 different things. Because you notice different things subconsciously. Notice how you feel in the room. Are you cold? Are you uncomfortable? We didn't even talk about emotions. Those are different senses, I think. But senses nonetheless. So anytime you're in a moment and you need to work on something quick to get yourself present, you can always tap into your breath, but also checking in with your 5 senses is a good one. Because it puts you there. You're smelling what's in the room. You can't smell really outside because it comes into the room to get to your nose. So the next one we'll do is a body scan. So if you need to pause this and go take a biological break, go ahead and do that. For a body scan, I would like you to recline. I would like you to lay down, just so that you can completely let your body go and take up space on the floor. So if you've got a yoga mat, or if you're in your bed, or you're on your floor, I like you to make sure that you are like feet wide, arms wide, take up space. And there are a number of ways to sort of go through a body scan. And I'm going to just talk you through sort of the way that I like to do it. You can consider this Shavasana if you like. So getting yourself into a comfortable supine position, face up. If you need to do anything to get yourself comfortable, even more comfortable, do that. I do hope to have you laying here for 15 to 20 minutes. So if you need a blanket, get that. Allow your eyes to close. And let your bones settle. Come into an effortless breath. Let's work on releasing a little bit more. Take a deep inhale and sigh. Take one more deep inhale. Sigh. Come back to an effortless breath. If you need to put a towel or a yoga strap or something over your eyes to help your eyelids relax, you can try that. Relax the weight of your skull to the floor. Soften your face. Lift your eyebrows and put them back down again. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Open your mouth wide. And then let that jaw relax. Notice the movement of air into your nostrils and back out through your nostrils. Noticing the air touching just that edge of your nostril. Maybe you feel it against your nose hairs. Let your tongue be soft in your mouth. Let it fill up space between your molars, against your front teeth. Notice the space between your earlobes and the sides of your jaw. Notice the sensation of the back of your head resting on the floor. And just below where the back of your skull is resting, Notice that space behind your neck and the space at the base of your skull and the floor. See if there's any tension there that you can release. Notice the sensation of your temples. And sense into the connection between your temples, the tops of your shoulders, and the sides of your neck. Those two little triangles on either side of your head, sitting on top of your shoulders. Notice the movement of your breath. Moving in and out of your nose, but then how it moves your throat, the inside of your throat, the outside of your throat, that little nook at the base of your neck. Notice the rise and fall of your chest and your shoulders. Notice any movement your breath causes in your arms, your upper arms, elbows, forearms. With your next exhale, let the exhale travel down your arms and pool in the palms of your hands. Feel your breath, the weight of your breath in the palms of your hands. And then visualize it dripping between your fingers and releasing down to the floor. Bring your awareness to your right hand. Notice the space between your right thumb and your pointer finger. Notice the energy connection between the tip of your right thumb and the tip of your right pinky finger. Sense into the energy connection between your right hand and your left hand, and follow that connection over to your left hand. Notice the space between your left pointer finger and your left middle finger. Notice the energy connection between the tip of your thumb and the tip of your left ring finger. Notice sensation between your arms and the sides of your torso, that triangle of space on either side. You sense anything in your armpits? Can you feel the space made by your armpits? Notice the movement of your rib cage in front, the sides, and the back as it presses into the floor. Feel yourself moving in your shirt. Maybe you can feel your belly expand into the waist of your pants or shorts. If you're naked, notice what your skin is pressing into the air when you breathe, or the floor. Notice the movement of your belly and how that affects the space between your low back and the floor. Notice how much movement your breath gives to your pelvic area and your low back. Maybe purposely deepen your breath to notice that. Notice the sensation of each butt cheek against the floor. Can you sense the sides of your butt muscles? Those parts that are not on the floor. Can you sense into that space just at the top of your butt cheeks? A little space right before the cleavage. Do you feel any space in your pants between the low back and the floor right there? Do you notice anything where your butt cheeks stop and the backs of your thighs begin? And we're getting into some areas where do not feel any shame. This is your body. We're just sensing into whatever there is to sense. Notice the sides of the hips. Any movement there? Do you feel the bones of your pelvis? Notice the sensation of your genitals. Temperature, hair, flesh. Notice the space of your inner thighs, the space between your left and your right inner thigh. Do you notice an energetic difference in this area versus on the outsides of your thighs? Can you sense the weight of your thigh bones and your thigh muscles? Notice if you're engaging any muscles, see if you can let those go. Notice the space behind your kneecaps, behind your knees and the floor. Notice the tops of your knees. Notice the difference in feeling between your shins and your calves. Mostly bone, and then the muscles behind the bones. Move your awareness down into your ankles. There's a lot of sensation down here. If you don't sense anything yet, this is a space where once we move out of this meditation, I recommend you putting your hands there. Ankle bones on the outside. These are very sensitive. Notice any sensation on the ankle bones on the inside. Notice the weight of your feet in your heels pressing into the floor. Notice if you're on the outsides of your heels, on the back of your heels, or maybe your feet fall in. Can you sense your Achilles tendon back there? And then on either side of your Achilles tendon, there are these little bowls, these little thumb spots on either side. See if you can sense into those little spots. Sense into the side of your feet, the pinky toe side. All the way from that little thumb depression along the edge down to the pinky toe. And let's come to the inside of the heels from that thumb depression on the inside, right underneath your ankle. Follow the arch. And then down into the ball of the big toe and into the big toe. And then the sole of your foot. What can you sense there? Your socks? Temperature. Are they cold? Are they warm? Do you feel muscles tugging in your feet? Can you sense anything on the tops of your feet, that nice slope from the front of your ankle down the top of your feet into your toes, the tops of your toes? Bring your awareness to your left foot only. Notice, are all of your toes touching one another? Or do you have space between your toes? Do you notice, are any of your toes overlapping? Can you sense into the feeling of your toenails? Let's move over to your right foot. What feels different over here? Do your toes feel different than your left toes? Do you notice any space between your toes? Can you sense into the base of your toes where they connect with your foot? And can you sense into the tips of your toes? And then sense your entire body weight resting against the floor. Notice the weight of your bones. Visualize your entire skeleton laying there. big white bones. Lots of gorgeous muscles. Feel the weight of your muscles. And then the softness of your skin. And then the clothing. And the temperature of the air around you. Let's take a deep inhale. And blow it out. Find a natural breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring yourself back to the room. Stretch out arms and legs, lengthen out. And roll to one side. Notice the difference between laying on your back and laying on your side. The weight of your body on the side, taking a couple of deep breaths, letting your rib cage press into the floor. And the other rib cage press out into space. And then take your time, bringing yourself back up to an easy seated position, allowing your eyelids to just be gently lowered. Sit nice and tall. Lift the sides of your mouth. Notice your body in this position. Notice what there is to notice. Nothing is good or bad. Pain is a thing. Comfort is a thing. Maybe sometimes notice what is very comfortable in your body as opposed to the aches and pains. What speaks loudest? What is quietest? Give attention to the quiet things at times. Let's take a deep inhale. Blow it out. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Find your natural breath. Think a positive thought about yourself. Think a positive thought about someone you love. Think of somebody who needs some positive thought, and let's send some positive thoughts in their direction. Maybe visualize positive thoughts enveloping that person like a hug. Maybe seeping in their skin and getting down into their heart and their soul and their bones. May all beings in the universe be happy and free. And may our actions and our thoughts contribute to their happiness and their freedom. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for being part of this meditation learner series. I think the next learner series is on anatomy. I am not entirely sure. I will let everybody know. But I do enjoy the learner series. It's a little way of workshopping specific concepts as opposed to just having a movement asana class. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Thanks.